this is going to sound pretty crazy to some people. And some people, it might make perfect sense. For those of you who knew me in the past, right, you probably are familiar that I spoke a lot about manifestation, right? And about conscious creation and nervous system regulation and basically attracting the things that you desire. Well, in no way, well, I guess you can say that I'm pivoting a tiny bit, but I personally stopped manifesting. And why I did that might shock you, might shock a lot of people, or it might just bring a little light bulb to you, okay? So, I personally was obsessed with manifestation, manifesting, right, for years. And it got to the point where I was very regimented with a process that I would do every day. And I'm not going to tell you guys the whole process, right, because it's not important. But I was very, very strict with what I was doing. And to be quite honest, I got a lot of results. But I ended up always feeling like I needed something. Yeah, I was content with the results that I was getting, but at the end of the day, like whatever I, manifested, the things that I desired, and to be quite honest, a lot of them, right, didn't come to pass. Not to scare you guys, but that's just the reality of my situation for the purpose that I'm going to be explaining, okay? I've come to the conclusion about manifestation from my personal experiences is that a lot of times we come into manifestation content and, creating your dream reality from the ego and not the spirit. And you're probably like, what do you mean? All right, I'll tell you. For me personally, when I got into the manifestation, content and things of the sorts, and I was very strict with what I was doing, I realized for myself that I was doing these things to attract things to boost my sense of self-worth. That's why a lot of the things that I truly desired didn't come to pass. And it was because I was doing it from a place of separation, from a place of needing this certain thing in order to feel fulfilled within myself. But the biggest game changer in everything was the realization that I am already one with everything, and everything is already one with me. Which, now, the way that I see things is I am spirit. I am not the ego. I am far beyond what I think I am. I am unlimited and I am one with everything, and I am one with divinity, and divinity is one with me. Therefore, I lack nothing, for I am everything. So, another part to this is when I was, really strict with my manifestation journey. That sounds so cringe, all right? But you guys get the point here. When I was obsessed with, manifesting, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this, okay? I was never really content. Yes, I would get results from time to time, and I would attribute that to my strict, regiment with what I was doing, right? So yeah, I did get a lot of results. But I noticed that the things that I really, really, really desired would never come to pass. Now, why was that? Again, it was because deep down I felt separate from it. I felt like I needed to do these things in order to get the result that I desire. When instead, the biggest game changer for me is realizing who I truly was, which is spirit. which is an extension and creation of divinity. And as the extension and creation of divinity that I am, I lack nothing, for I am everything. And I am free, and I am unlimited. And I realized, too, that sometimes the things that I thought I wanted, or the things that I thought was absolutely perfect, right? And that was my ideal, turned out to be that it really wasn't. That there was always something else that was a better fit for me. And I can give you examples of jobs, situations, relationships. I mean, people that I thought were, you know what I mean, were perfect. You know what I mean? Like, was the perfect person for me, actually turned out to be they weren't. And I was obsessed with them at that point. And I was obsessed with manifesting, especially, like, for me specifically, it was relationships. Relationships to me were my biggest area of growth because, to be honest, you know what I mean? Like, what brought me to the manifestation content was specific people, right? Specific person, right? It sounds so cringe, right? Because I was the type that I was once obsessed with the specific person, you know? Manifesting, attracting the specific person to be the ideal person, all right? You know, the ideal. And again, I did get results. I did. But what I noticed is that what I thought was my ideal, what I thought was the best for me, actually turned out to be not the best. And then I would get myself into a situation where I thought would be perfect, but it turned out that it wasn't perfect for me. Understand that. Because the next thing that I'm going to say here is going to tie it all up together, okay? I've learned and I stopped manifesting because now I realize and I understand the plan of divinity, the plan of the Creator. Whatever it is you want to call it, the name is not important, but it is the understanding. There is a plan. And our Creator has created that plan. And that plan is rooted in love. And the more that I've come to understand that, the more that I have been able to surrender myself to my Creator. I have been able to let go and trust that whatever I'm doing right now is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. The people that come into my life are exactly the people that are supposed to be coming into my life at that time. Everything that I think, everything that I feel, everything that I go through in my day-to-day life is exactly what I am supposed to be going through in order for me to progress. And I think I know what my ideal situation is, but the truth is that I have an idea, but I don't know the full extent of what is perfect for me. And from my personal experiences, the more that I surrender, the more that I trust, the more that I surrender in love and gratitude, the more I am taken care of, the more I am provided for. And yeah, it's been that easy. That's why I preach. I don't preach because I'm not a preacher or a pastor, whatever it is, right? I'm not. But that's why I tell you guys, or I tell people, or anybody I talk to, you know, surrender yourself to divinity. Surrender yourself to a greater power. If you're the type of person who, like me, was obsessed or is with manifestation content, you know, manifesting my specific person, manifesting financial, you know, freedom, manifesting the perfect job, apartment, whatever the case is, all right? I'm not telling you guys to stop doing that, honestly. But what I am telling you is from my personal experiences, the more that I just surrender myself in love and gratitude, the more I am being taken care of in all areas. In friends, relationships, finances, which is another big one for me. Jobs, I got many stories to tell you guys about that too. My fitness, everything of the sort. The more that I surrender myself in love and gratitude, the more I am provided for. And for me, it's truly been that easy, you know? So, I think that's it. If you guys want me to talk about anything else, drop it down in the comments below. But with that being said, I guess I'll catch you guys on the flip side.